Thanks,
All righty,
John.
sir. Okay.
Weather Channel. In this half hour, WeatherScope, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, TravelWise gives you the latest on travel hotspots. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, the storm update. Right now on the Weather Channel, your local forecast.
This WeatherScope is sponsored by Little Caesars Pizza, where you always get 2 great pizzas for the one low price.
This is WeatherScope.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here at the Weather Channel. We've got an active night here as far as severe weather. Severe weather occurring in the Northeast at this time in the Mid-Atlantic states. We also have developing storms across the plains. Jim Cantori is in the Forecast Center with the latest. Jim?
Thank you very much, Kim, and I introduce Fred Osby, our severe weather specialist as well. We've been covering this all afternoon, and it looks like we got a busy few days coming up here, Fred, as well.
Certainly does, Jim. You know, it started yesterday in Illinois and Indiana, and here we, see stuff moving into New England now, and a new system developing out over the western plains. Busy indeed.
Yeah, tough night for the folks heading through the Northeast. Here are the 2 watches that we have out at the present time. We'll show those to you, and also show you the active radar as well. And interestingly enough, we were talking about this earlier, this first line of storms didn't get going until it was right over New York City. I mean, it was pretty much quiet over Jersey and Philadelphia.
That's right.
But then all of a sudden it popped up, and these cells here have been producing hail. And Dave Schwartz tells me, too, this secondary line is also producing hail around Newburgh, with winds gusting well over 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, so we're seeing 2 lines of activity, which is really kind of unusual to see 2 areas that close together, because usually, one kind of takes up all the energy and doesn't leave anything for the other, but it looks like there's plenty of energy to go around this time.
Well, we noticed this morning there were some very strong winds aloft, and there was some dry air, so the indications were we would have much more hail and wind today, and that's exactly what we've had, and even these storms up into the Capital District. I mean, it's active up around Albany this morning. Let's close in toward New York City. We've already seen 1 round of storms move through, but please don't let your guard down. We still have some very strong thunderstorms that are moving across Jersey now. It looks like they're pulsing down a little bit. This could be one benefit of the first line, Fred. Sometimes we get this rain-cool layer which stabilizes the next wave.
Yeah, it could take away some of the play there. The other thing that's a little bit surprising is how strong the activity is moving into out over eastern Long Island and central and eastern Connecticut. You would expect this time of the year with the cool water off the Atlantic that would be sort of an inhibiting factor, but those storms are staying together quite nicely.
I smell a small-scale research project coming up here. Down and toward Philadelphia and Trenton, Wilmington, look at these storms really pulsing up right now. no doubt at least some small hail and some gusty winds coming out of these.
Definitely, definitely. And of course, this marks the edge of the cold front, and after these storms move through that area, people are going to see a much more drastic change in their weather as it gets colder.
Some of the most active weather we've seen today has moved across southeastern Virginia. We've had tremendous reports. Baseball hail at Langley Field. Hope they didn't have the planes out when those babes moved through. Sussex County, this is southeast Virginia now, has had a couple of instances where we've had 60 to 70 mile per hour winds plus 50 to 60-year-old trees uprooted by these winds, and 2-inch diameter hail in Mecklenburg, which is in southeastern Virginia as well. So this line really was quite strong, and that was, I guess, associated with the tail end of that first line that we saw fire up. It's also been real active over North Carolina. A lot of reports of small hail and wind damage as well. Look at these storms here moving south and east of Raleigh now.
All the way down in that area, and they're still very active through that area, Jim.
If you live toward Cape Hatteras, be on the lookout. Those storms are heading east. Phase 2 just getting underway now with our second storm. We've got 2 tornado watches out through late this evening. Fred, give us an idea what we're looking at here.
Part 2 of a two-parter, Jim, and here we see from near North Platte down into the Oklahoma Panhandle the beginnings of this new bout of severe weather that we're going to be seeing as this other strong system that came in from the Pacific. So these are just the beginnings of that, with 2 tornado watches out, and then a much more widespread significant day tomorrow.
Yeah, let's talk about this a little bit. First, I want to show the folks this cell north of Dodge City. There is a warning out for that severe thunderstorm warning. And it looks like this cell here, which tried to get going in Hall County, is weakening a little bit. But this area is very unstable. Temperatures are in the 80s, and there's some cooler 50s behind the dry line. So it'll be pretty active this evening. Don't let your guard down. Here's a look at Friday, and I wanted to pay particular note up toward the Great Lakes. Now, they're just watching one storm move out. Tonight, they clear out with frost advisories in Ohio.